Hey folks, my name is Burke Holland, and in this video we're going to take a look at how to use the built-in debugger in Node.js. Now, Node has a built-in debugger, and built-in means that there's nothing that you need to install to use it. So let's take a look at how to use it. I've got a sample program here that calculates a Fibonacci sequence. Now, what is a Fibonacci sequence? Fibonacci sequence is just a pattern of numbers that starts with 0 and 1, and then every number after that is a sum of the previous two numbers. So 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, and so on and so forth, and it just keeps going and going and going, and it never stops. Now, this particular program calculates the number at a certain position in the Fibonacci sequence. And so it's looking for the number in position 5, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Seems like that would be the right answer. But collections in JavaScript are 0 based, and so it's actually 5 is the right answer. It should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if we run this, and we could do that, let's run node Fibonacci. We get back 3, which is the wrong answer. We should be getting back 5. So let's use the Node Debugger to figure out what's going wrong here. So I'm going to do this again, but this time we're going to pass in the inspect command along with the name of the file to execute. And what this will do is attach the debugger, and it sort of spits back out the code here, and we can see the current line that's being evaluated by looking at that caret on the left-hand side, line 17. To keep on going here, we can step into this code. So I'm just going to use the S command, actually type an S and press enter. And that will step into the Fibonacci method here. And then let's step again. And you can see as we're moving along, it even highlights the number green so we can see what line we're on. Now at any given point in time, we can see the value of a variable by doing exec and then what variable we want to see. So let's look at in1, that's 0. And if I do exec in2, what do you think the value of that variable will be? If you guessed undefined, you were right, and that's because the line hasn't been evaluated yet. But if we were to step again, right, and then now let's look at in2, it should be what? 1. That's right. All right, so let's keep stepping here, and now we're on the line for the for loop. And you'll notice that I step multiple times through the for loop, so that's twice now. Once to set the value of I to 2, and then once to check to see if I is less than n. And then now we're inside of the for loop. Now this seems like a good place to do something like set a breakpoint. Now to set a breakpoint, you use the SB function, which I assume stands for set breakpoint. That makes sense to me. And we'll press enter. And we know that it happened because Node sort of echoes back out the same thing, but there's no other visual indication. However, if we were to step to the next line, which is that in1 equals in2, you'll see a star next to the sum line, and that indicates where the breakpoint is. So at this point, what we want to do is look at two things here. We want to know what's the value of I, okay, which is the current index, and then what is the value of sum, which is the current number in the Fibonacci sequence. And we can look at both of those things with an array notation here, so I and sum, and that will show us 2 and 1. Okay, so let's look at our Fibonacci sequence. If we look at the number position 2, 0, 1, 2 is 1. That's correct. So let's go ahead and circle back around. We want to step over and get back to this breakpoint. So we're going to continue execution. So we're going to use the C command, which will bring us back around to that breakpoint the next time it's hit. And then we can step through here and look at the value of our sum. And now it says 3, 2. So 0, 1, 2, 3. That's 2. That's correct. So the third time through, the number 2. Now let's do this again. 4 and 3. So the fourth time through, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. Everything is good so far. Now, because we're about to get to the point where our program throws an error, let's just step line by line and see what happens here. So we're setting in2 to the sum, and we're going back to the for loop and incrementing the counter. And now what should happen is we should go back into the for loop. So let's do that. And nope, we jumped out of the for loop. All right, so we finished the for loop one cycle too early. And that's likely because whoever wrote this code, it wasn't me, because I don't write bugs. I'm sure you've never written a bug either. Whoever wrote this code probably forgot that this is a zero-based system here. And so we can fix this by having it go one more iteration than it's doing. And the easy way to do that is to just add an equals. So now it's less than or equal to n, and this should fix our problem. So let's go ahead and press Control-C twice to exit the debugger. And then let's run Node Fibonacci again. And this time we should get 5. And we do. And just like that, we've fixed the bug with the built-in Node Debugger. Now, the Node Debugger works, but it's a little clumsy. And as you can see, it's a little bit hard to go through the text like that. And certainly harder to use on more complex programs, which is why in the next video, we're going to take a look at how to use the debugger that's built into Visual Studio Code to debug much more complex code and all of the different things that you can do with the Visual Studio Debugger.